Are we record? Okay, how I look? You know, it's certain stuff you just won't try because you know you just shouldn't do that. Just don't do it, man. So let's get straight into it, man. So as many of y'all may know, Tory Lanez has just been sentenced to 10 years in prison behind the assault case involving Meg Thee Stallion. But before we get into that, I just want to talk about how I discovered Lane personally. I've been following Tory for well over 10 years at this point, man. It's been a long grind. And I remember seeing him around 2010 calling out Drake. Like it was some on World Star. They was like, Drake's little brother challenges him to listen to his music for 10 bands. Okay, first of all, if it's the man's little brother, why is the little brother paying him $10,000 to listen to his music? I mean, come on, man. Like, and people in the comments, I remember back then people was actually like, yeah, no, like that's really Drake's little brother. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You know, I just thought that was funny, man. But so being that this dude was that confident to call out Drake, who was developing to be the hottest artist in the game around that time, I had to start following the man music, you know, like, cause I'm like, if this dude got 10 bands to blow, you know, for somebody to listen to him, then, I mean, he's obviously serious about his craft. Once I started listening to him, I was amazed at his versatility even back then. Cause it's like, you know, dude was experimenting with different flows. Like, you could really tell he was a student of the game. And he would jump on anything, almost anything, and murk it. No pun intended. But I even remember when he first started singing around 2011 when he dropped the Mr. Peterson joint. And I think he also dropped the Chicks tape around that time as well, like the first Chicks tape, which has grown to be very popular for him. I remember a dude being so humble back then. Like, he used to do these vlogs where he would be like, I'm just in it for the, you know, I'm in it for the art, I'm in it for the love of music. Like, he would be, you know, he's not into the jewelry, the materialistic things. Like, just, he wants to be respected for his craft. Like, I remember that. And since then, those videos have been long taken down. But if somebody had those archived, man, bring those back up, because I know I'm not the only one that remember those vlogs. You know what I mean? That's before all the tattoos and, you know, before he became the person who he is today. I can honestly say dude really grinded his way to be to where he is. And I say all that to say this, like, Sean Kingston had him around that time and he dropped the ball with him. He was working with J.R. Rodham, who was a producer, I think, from Canada as well, who's closely connected to Sean Kingston. And that fizzled out. And even around that time, you know, I gotta give Big Soulja credit. Like, he also linked with Soulja that time, and I think they still had a video up with him, Soulja Boy, and I can't remember if Sean Kingston was on the record or not, but I remember seeing that when it first dropped. Soulja still was pretty hot around that time too, but it still did nothing for Tory. And even when Kurt Cobain's dropped, after the Drink in My Cup, him and Tory did a record. And you can see the excitement in the video, you know, Tory, you know, like, was in the video as well. And that even fizzled out for him. So it's like, no matter how hard this dude tried to break his way in the game, he wasn't getting much traction. He was getting some popularity, but he wasn't getting enough to sustain himself as that guy, you know, or that artist, so to speak. Dude used to literally be in South Florida, like, passing out tapes. I wouldn't say it really wasn't until he dropped Say It that he really started to, like, pick up traction, which I enjoyed that record because it was very reminiscent of what he was doing on the original Chicks tapes. But that's when he started to catch people's attention. I remember being so happy for this dude, like I knew him personally. I'm like, it's only up from here. Like, dude about to really blow, so to speak. And that's based purely off of the fact that Tory had one of the most organic, if not the most organic, come up that I've ever seen personally. Like, I got to watch like from the start to today's time, man. Like, it was purely organic, you know. So damn, man, to see how it started and how it ended up for him, it's just, you know, it's almost tragic, man. You know, like, I know I use that word a lot, but that's just what it is, man. So with all that out the way, let's talk about how the man ended up in this situation trying to be a player-ass individual, and it just didn't work out for him. You know what I'm saying? Now here's where I believe Tory went wrong while handling the assault case. Now all this is pure speculation. I'm not trying to crucify the man. He's still maintaining his innocence. I'm not trying to nail him to the cross. That's not my place to judge, because truthfully, I really don't know what happened with the situation. But, I mean, I am on here to speak on it. That's what I do. Firstly, I believe that money turned the man into a monster. Like, if you follow those original vlogs that I mentioned, and to see, you know, how he became over the years, it's almost like two different people. Like, it's almost like, it's like you can't even believe it's the same guy. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I can't blame Tory, because everybody, like, not equipped to handle that type of stardom and fame. And that's no knock on him, that's anybody. For example, it's almost like going from broke to rich is the equivalent of liquid courage. It's like the guy that wouldn't talk to women, but then he get a couple Henny shots and now he the biggest player in the room. It's something like that. Once you gain money, it gives you a whole nother level of confidence that can easily convert to arrogance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have a guy in Tory that was constantly overlooked in the rap game, like constantly. He had to prove himself to the industry over and over again, and to the point to where he actually ended up making himself successful. And I couldn't even be mad at that, because if I was overlooked and I felt like I was as good as he is, then I would feel some type of way too. Like, y'all didn't let me in here, so yeah, I'm gonna get my, you know, I'm gonna pop my stuff off. Like, that's just what it is, man. So I can't even fault him for that. I do feel like that arrogance is kind of what hurt his situation, so to speak. In addition to that, he started to call out industry executives and record labels, which is a big no-no. Like, one thing about the industry is you have to learn how to play politics, man. Everybody may not be your friend, and I referenced that with the short that I did for I Love McConan. Like, you have to play the industry how it has to be played, and that's not meaning you're fake. It's just you maneuver the game how you're supposed to do. That's life in general. You know, that's why they have a thing called code switching. It's certain behaviors and certain actions that you do around certain people compared to the people that you're comfortable with. You know, that's just how life works. You know what I'm saying? Calling out these people, that's a no-no in regards to building relationships. Like, and these people have access to other powerful people that could eventually come back and bite you in the ass. That's just what it is. Secondly, he had numerous acts of violence and threats that was caught on camera. And it's like, Tory, like, now this is before and after the Meg situation. It's like, man, come on, bro. Like, he had issues with Travis Scott, the guy Dax, and he had issues with August. Now, once again, I don't know the backstory behind all of them, but it's like, man, when you in a spotlight like that, he even had a line himself where he said on the Florida joint, and I'm a gangster on the scene, but not on camera. That fuck nigga. So all these things were caught on camera, man. You know, like, so it's like, if you gonna be a gangster, keep it off the camera. You know what I'm saying? Like, once again, I don't know the backstory, so he might have been justified in whatever took place from there. But, like, it's not a good look when you already fighting charges. He had a gun charge at one point, then the assault charge came. It's not a good look, man, especially when you being judged, you know, by a jury of your peers, man, for acts of violence. You know, you got to be very particular about the court of public opinion, man. The same sort they night you with, they'll good night you with and get you out of here. You know, like, the love turned to hate real quick, man. Thirdly, he was way too confident about getting off. Like, he was like, I mean, come on, man. Like, the man was doing photo shoots at court, making tweets about people really think I'm going to jail, laughing at it with memes and stuff like that. And it's like, saying all this before getting a verdict is wild, man. Like, Me personally, if I'm in this situation, I'm disappearing. I'm hitting a John McAfee or whoever, man. I'm going off the map with it, like for real, for real. You have to find me with a flashlight, cuz I ain't trying to be seen. I don't want to be in no music video. Like, I need this all to blow over. And then, you know, hey, after it blow over, you know, I get it off then, man. But no, I never celebrate early, man. I learned that the hard way. You can never celebrate too early, man. But I digress. You know, my mans was doing all this. Once again, the Fed, whoever, the people are looking at this stuff, man. The jurors are following this. Like, people are really looking at this type of stuff, man. Once again, the court of public opinion. The internet really gassed my guy up and he ran with it. The internet is dangerous, man. Even with all of that being mentioned, in my biggest opinions, his biggest mess up was antagonizing Meg online, man. First of all, come on, man, talk to me. Go on, bring it on in, because y'all need to hear this. In 2023, you don't embarrass women, man. Especially if you a guy, and super especially if she is the hottest, if not one of the hottest female artists in the game, man. Like, you can't drag her in the internet and think people gonna be okay with that, whether you in the wrong or the right, man. Come on, man. You gotta have like some self-discretion, man. And who am I to be speaking on this? Nobody. But I'm gonna speak on it anyway. In my opinion, from the outside looking in, she was actually holding it down for Buddy, like not saying much until he started tweeting and dropping songs. Well, which were fire, by the way. I can't front, like I did bump the tape, man. It was just, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Even with all that being stated, it's like, it's a cardinal sin, man. Just don't do it. Like, you know, it's certain stuff you just won't try because you know you just shouldn't do that. Just don't do it, man. The opposite of Nike. The subliminals in the music videos was crazy. Then you teaming up with other dudes and other rappers that the lady has been involved with allegedly, while continuing with a sense of, just isn't a good look, man. Especially when you are fighting a case that could jeopardize your entire career. In closing, with all that being stated, it's just a tragic situation, man. Just real sad, bro. Like, to me, Tory is one of the most talented artists in the game. And it's a shame that he'll have to sit down for some years, robbing his fans of what could have been classic moments for him. You know, I gotta send the prayers up for all parties involved. Hopefully dude is innocent, man, and he'll do whatever, you know, he have to do and come home and get back to it. I hope it isn't over for him, especially if he is innocent. You know what I mean? Watching this come up, man, it's almost like you're rooting for somebody you know personally. So just to see it get thrown away over something so unnecessary, you know, like me personally, I would have been laid up with Kylie, dropping Travis diss records, you know, on some Drake type stuff. Like, you know how Drake do. But Hollywood, I'm signing out, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. Checking out, as Chris Brown would say, well shit, I probably shouldn't say that. Hey, I'm out. Peace out.